What's up, everybody? This is Scott from NoLifeToMetal.com. Want to say big hello to Harmless Rebel, Steve, and congratulations on your 100 subscribers. And thought I'd give a shot at your contest. But more importantly than hitting 100 subscribers is I want to say congratulations on the awesome vinyl that you've been showing. I love sharing my collection, and I love watching other people's collections, and you and I share a lot of the same tastes, so I definitely enjoy seeing what you have to share. So I thought I'd give a shot at your contest. This is actually the first time I've ever entered one of those. So I'm going to answer the second question first because it'll lead into the first question. But a musical event that changed my life, and I'm sure for a lot of people it was a concert or something big like that. But for me, it was something a little simpler than that. You know, I got into music very early. I was in grade school, and it's just something that I attached onto quickly. But before I really got into music, it was just background noise. It was the things your parents played in your car. It was the Disney records you played with your brothers, and that's what it was to me at one point. But I'm gonna say somewhere around the third grade, it changed. And what changed it was we had this neighbor who had this massive stereo system that he would just blast down the street, especially on the weekends, to the annoyance of all the neighbors, of course. But kids didn't care. We'd be outside playing baseball or dodgeball, whatever it was we were playing. And there was this one day, he was blasting his music, and I don't know what it was that day. It had to be what he was playing, but it just caught my ear, and I had to go down and see what it was. And went down and said hey, and of course we already knew who the neighbor was, and the neighbor kid knew who I was, and I was much younger than him. He was a teenager, and asked him who he was playing. He said, oh, come on, take a look. So I went ahead up to his room, and he had this room, and it was just full of posters and records, and I was just in awe. I loved it. That right there changed my perspective. But then he showed me the records, and the very first record he showed me was this one. Yeah. This is the album he was playing down the street that caught my attention, and I became a Kiss fanatic. Of course, it was the 70s, so who wasn't a Kiss fanatic in the 70s? You know, every kid was a Kiss fanatic. But then he played another record, and this one also became a favorite, and is still a favorite. Actually, both these are still favorites. But Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic. And those two records right there, just, I don't know, I became obsessed with music at that point. Collecting records, that was all I wanted for everything. Any holiday, any relative asked me for something, I mowed lawns just so I could buy records and buy a record player. But even though those two records that I just showed you are really important to me, that's not really the record that I would say totally changed my perspective. That musical event definitely changed my perspective. But at that point, I was just loving Kiss and Aerosmith, and that was pretty much it. I was just a Kiss fanatic, and you know, like any kid, I was just obsessed with that one, in my case, two bands. And to tell the truth, I'm still obsessed with both bands. But this is the record I wanted to show. It's a compilation called Heavy Metal. This compilation was on Warner Brothers, 1974. It was given to me by an aunt. I believe it was for Christmas. I can't totally remember. That was, you know, a couple years ago. And but I didn't really know what heavy metal was at the time, and I don't know how many people did know what heavy metal was. I mean, heavy metal wasn't a term that was commonly used until about 76, 77, 78. This compilation came out in 1974, and listen to the bands that are on this compilation. You know, most people would laugh if you think this was heavy metal these days, but MC5, Black Sabbath, Alice Cooper, Jimi Hendrix, The James Gang, Deep Purple, T-Rex, Jay Giles Band, Led Zeppelin, Uriah Heep, Foghat, Golden Earring, Yes, The Doors. Doesn't matter if they're all heavy metal or not. What matters is I just became fans of all those bands, and I started looking for all those bands' music. The one that caught my attention, the two I should say that caught my attention the most, was Black Sabbath and Jimi Hendrix. I became a huge Hendrix fan, and I'm still a huge Hendrix fan to this day. And then from there, I mean, you know, from Hendrix and Foghat and all those bands, that opened me up to the blues, and then Black Sabbath opened me up to heavy metal, and anybody who knows me knows that I'm a huge heavy metal head, and I have been, you know, I still am. So this particular record in general just opened up my eyes to a lot of new music, and to even to the word heavy metal. like I said, it became part of my vocabulary after that record. That would have been about 1976, and I started buying up Cream magazines and Circus magazines and Hit Parader magazines, and I started seeing all the articles, especially at the end of the 70s, about heavy metal dying, and I didn't care. I just loved the music, and I loved the look, I loved everything about it, but mostly I loved the music. And like I said, that record changed my life. I also still enjoy buying compilation albums, records, and CDs to this day, and discovering new bands that way. To me, it's just not the same downloading music or any of those kind of digital things. I'm old school. So anyhow, congratulations, Harmless Rebel, on your 100 subscribers. Appreciate you putting on the contest, and I hope you enjoy what I had to say. Appreciate everybody else watching my videos, and I hope you'll check out my website, noletsmetal.com, and my discussion board, hardmetal.net. And I just want to say, God bless, stay strong. Just want to give a big shout out to Harmless Rebel, Steve. He just hit...